Hey, what's up, brand builders? My name is Bonigala, brand strategist. Today, we're talking about the 5 signs that your brand is sleeping. Okay, so do you know that my kind of tagline, philosophy of branding is awaken your brand? Now, when I talk about awaken your brand, what I'm really trying to say is that most brands are sleeping and you need to awaken your brand. So, when your brand is sleeping, you have, of course, struggles. You struggle with sales, you struggle with revenue, you struggle with growth, scaling, and all that. When your brand is awakened, all these struggles go away. Now, of course, to say that you need to awaken your brand, it's actually looking at the negatives. What causes or what are the symptoms of a sleeping brand? So that's what we're looking at today. Number 1, disconnected branding. You look around at most brands, maybe yourself, including your own brand, there might be a disconnect between your product and service and how your brand looks and feels, right? This could be the visual identity. This could be how it just comes off. This could be the various touch points. A lot of disconnect happens between the website, the social media channels, what you say on your website, what you say on your social media channels. Are they related to your product or service? What kind of a product or service are they related to your target audience? All these things. So a huge disconnect is between branding and your product and service. Now, when there is a disconnect like that, it leads to attracting the wrong audience. So when you have disconnected branding, you start attracting the wrong audience. What does the wrong audience mean? Look, when you're looking at your audience, you have, of course, the TAM, right? The total addressable market. So this is the entire market that your product and service, that is your brand, can address. But within that TAM, you have the ICP, which is the ideal customer profile. Now, I've done a dedicated video about ICP, how to identify your ideal customer, how to create that profile, and so on. Now, when you have disconnected branding, so your branding is scattered, it's disconnected, you attract the wrong kind of audience. And when you attract the wrong kind of audience, which is the target audience, the rest of the pieces get broken. So you know how a customer journey is, right? So, and I've created a video in the past about customer journey. And any company, any brand, any business, their customers are always on a journey. They go from point A, where they have a problem, but maybe they don't know what the solution is to solve that problem, to point B, which is buying your service to solve that problem. So during this journey, at different stages, that same audience may be the right audience, may be the wrong audience for you, right? Because if you're trying to attract everyone that is on that journey, so from A to all the way to B, you will have difficulty if you have limited resources. You need to identify the right kind of branding that will attract the right kind of target audience. Because you may be thinking, okay, everyone who wants to buy a hat is my audience, which is good. Okay, that's fine. But then niching down means that you're creating the right kind of connect between your branding and your audience. And niching down is the best way to scale your business. Now, I've done videos on that in the past, and I'll try and leave a link below or a card, and you can check it out. Niching is very important. Okay. Attracting the wrong audience, and then you have the third one is message is muddled. This is the big one. So look at your message. If your message is muddled, then that is a sign that your brand is sleeping, right? So a muddled message is the sign of a sleeping brand. Now, what does a muddled message mean? It means that your message has no clarity in terms of what your brand stands for, what your product or service is about, why you care about your audience and why they should care about you. Those are the components of a clear brand message, right? Of course, there's this storytelling and all that. But in simple terms, if your message is muddled, that means your audience, especially the right kind of audience, don't know what you stand for, don't know what you're selling, and don't know why they should care about your brand. So a third sign is a muddled message. The fourth sign that your brand is sleeping is that leads and traffic do not convert. If your message is muddled and you're getting the wrong kind of audience, target audience, then your traffic or your leads don't convert. Now, one of the biggest challenges most businesses face is that they don't have sales. What does sales mean, right? It is the conversion of traffic or leads into customers. That is a sale. And if you have disconnected branding, if you're attracting the wrong kind of audience and your message is muddled, then what chance do you have of converting that traffic or leads into customers? Because it's not enough just so that you have 1,000 people come to your website, let's say, and then you have an offer there. And an offer is, it's a big part of message. And then you expect people to buy. That doesn't work like that. Maybe it used to work in the past, or maybe it'll work if your product or service is rare. You cannot find it anywhere else. And then, of course, you don't really need to sell it. You don't really need to have great messaging or connected branding. No, you can just put it up there, a picture of your product or service, and then just a couple of bullet points, the price, and then buy now, and people will buy it. But let's assume for a moment that you do not have a rare product or service, right? I'm assuming that is the case, and that's why you're watching this video, right? It's very rare to have a rare product or service. So leads and traffic do not convert because, number one, okay, you're attracting the wrong audience. So already the funnel is muddled. Then you're attracting the wrong audience, then your message is muddled, right? So it further kind of dirties the water. And then, of course, you don't have an offer. You don't have a solid offer. You probably have a limp, pale offer, right? And then, of course, conversion does not happen. And that is a big sign that your brand is sleeping. Or number 5 is your profit percentage is low. So what happens when you cannot convert your target audience? When you don't have conversions, you don't have sales, you don't have revenue, your profit conversion or your profit percentage is low. Now, of course, profit percentage is depends on your pricing, and your pricing depends on the robustness of your offer. And the offer, of course, is all about communicating it and attracting the right kind of. So they're all interlinked. And if you have low profits, that means your brand is sleeping. So let's just quickly look at the summary of it again. The 5 signs your brand is sleeping. Number 1, disconnected branding. Number 2, attracting the wrong type of audience. Number 3, your message is muddled. Number 4, leads and traffic do not convert. Number 5, your profit percentage is low. If you have any one or more of these factors, then your brand is sleeping. And how to awaken your brand? That's what all this channel is about. That's what I am about. In fact, I coach founders and business owners on how to awaken their brands. And the reason I say coach is that, yes, there is a done-for-you service, right? So my agency works with clients, and then we unclog the bottlenecks. We create the strategy, we create the messaging and all that. That's a service. But if you don't have a lot of resources, if you don't have a lot of money to spend on getting an agency like ours to create your strategy, then the next best thing is to learn that yourself. And yes, you can learn, but the fastest way to learn and also to be effective at implementing is to have a coach, a mentor, someone like me who's been there, done that, who is a brand strategy specialist. So I work one-on-one. I identify the bottlenecks. Do you know what? It's very funny. You don't really need to do a lot to start seeing results. You just need to unblock one or two bottlenecks in your business, right? And it could be the messaging, it could be the offer, it could be where you're playing, something, just one or two of these factors. Unblock them, unblock the bottleneck, and you will see tremendous results. So if you have any questions on this topic, just let me know. If you haven't subscribed to this channel by now, you should subscribe. If you're serious about, increasing your sales, increasing your conversions, branding, and all that, you should be subscribing to this channel. And of course, if you want to reach me, reach out to me on Twitter. My handle is @Bonigala, or DM me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, ask me there and I will try and answer them. Till my next video, take care.